That's dirty. Yo, hello, welcome back. Good to see you again. How you doing? Good, glad to hear it. Anyways, that was weird. We're continuing on with the Grom and some of the DIY stuff, and today is skid plate day. Over the last week and a half, off and on, I've been working on my cardboard-aided design. It's some of that good Lego box cardboard. But this is what it's going to look like. So we have 4 mounting points on here. These are on the underside of the engine. If this engine were on like a CRF or something, that's where your peg mounts would work or would go to. And actually my CT90 over in the corner, I use those for peg mounts and haven't broken any off. Little hole for the oil drain plug. What's going to make my skid plate different than a lot of the other ones out there, and I can hear the comments already, is mine's actually going to be above the exhaust. With these Groms, and especially most aftermarket exhausts, they hang down so low, and I think that a skid plate on the outside of that looks terrible. And the odds of me bouncing this off of a rock garden where I need a skid plate is pretty low. I don't really need a skid plate. I want it for the looks, let's be honest. And since I took off the tire hugger on the front, little bit of cylinder head protection and protecting like the O2 sensor and the cam position sensor and things like that. So a little bit of protection. I don't care if a rock hits the exhaust. I think the exhaust pipe will be fine by itself. So we do have a bit of a hole for the exhaust to go through. And then this actual center section is going to be removable entirely, so I don't have to pull the exhaust off to pull the skid plate off. Let's see, my next step, I'm actually going to take this apart, lay it out. I have a sheet of 16 gauge steel. Went with steel originally because my plan was to weld a good portion of it, cut out each individual piece, weld it together, but 16 gauge is going to be hard for me to weld. I only have a little flux core, and the odds of me burning through that are pretty good. There are going to be a couple things I think I'm going to have to weld, like the supports coming off of it going to the cylinder head up front. But anyways, 16 gauge steel. Do most of my cuts with a circular saw with a Diablo metal blade on it. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna untape, unfold this, mark it out. I don't have any Dycom or layout fluid, and so we're using a king size blue Sharpie and a all scribe thing to lay it out. Then we're going to cut it out. I have a little 18-inch Harbor Freight press brake. I'm going to do this bend with, and then I'm going to have a little clamp right here and right here, or a little tab on the inside there that I'll also try and bend with that. And from there, we have a couple braces to figure out, but it should be time consuming, but fairly easy overall. So I'm going to get to it. Cool. Majority should be cut out now, so I'm gonna clean up all of the metal glitter, the glitter that is all over my garage now, and then see you in a few. Glitter everywhere. Random tip of the day: put a paper towel over your magnet. This is just a free Harbor Freight parts tray, but I have welding magnets over there too. And then when you pull the paper towel off, away from the magnet, all your metal shavings just fall into the garbage. Or on your floor if you miss the garbage. Wrap it up again, do it again. Magic. Garage is cleaned. I did one test bend on this, and I probably should have practiced a little bit more because it's a little off, but I think we'll make it work. I'm going to bend this other side, and then I forgot to add tabs on here, so the tabs are going to be on that center input inside plate instead, and we're going to also bend that. So wish me luck. I'm using a little Harbor Freight press brake bender, and it is just barely enough to do this, and it is not exactly sturdy on here. So we're gonna do what we can and hope for the best. Yay. Yeah, those secondary tabs weren't gonna work, so those got cut off at that last second there. Rebent that first bend, flattened it, and then did it again, and second time came out much better. The tabs I'd planned that I forgot to put on there, yeah, those aren't gonna work now, so I am gonna have to weld, which is fine, not a big deal. I am fully capable of that. But I will not be filming that. So what I'm going to do now, smooth out everything, get rid of all the sharp edges, and then put on some of those mounting tabs that I was talking about. And from there, should be pretty solid. So I'll see you, I don't know, in like 2 seconds. No judging me on the quality of my welds. Like I said, I'm not a professional welder by any means. I probably have less than 2 hours welding maybe, and it's not going anywhere, but there's one ugly ass side. Yeah, the second side's looking a little better, but that'll be covered in paint and not really visible. So I have my mounts for the front plate on. Next I'm going to put nut certs in those 4 holes, and then from there, really all I have left is drilling holes in my front plate for the nut certs I'm about to put in, but I want to make sure that nut certs are in there and I can get all the centers exactly center. Oop, losing light. And then I also have to cut out the hole for the oil drain and do the 4 holes to actually mount it at the back. And then I'm really fingers crossed hoping that I don't actually have to mount it at the front. That would be so ideal, but I don't think I'm gonna get that lucky. Maybe I can weld in some reinforcing ribs or something. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna put nut certs in though. Super exciting. Okay, we are putting M6 studs or inserts in there. So I need to thread that guy in. Okay, there we go. Collar on. I've never used nut certs before, it's great. I could have just welded nuts on the backside, and I probably should have because I have the welder out. But I like nut certs. I think you get, I don't even really know if I can defend them, but that's what we're going with today. So once you have your nut cert on there, pop it in the hole, try and get it as flush as you can. Try not to knock everything off the table. And you unthread. Cool. So what that gives me is a threaded hole without welding a nut on. So the back side looks like it squishes into the metal. It's the best way I can describe it. It just squishes in there, and then you have, I don't know, that's good 7 or 8 millimeters of thread, if not a little bit more. So I'm gonna do these other 3, and then we'll mark some holes.
You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Can't twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body, your mind.
Okay, it is so far from perfect, but I am happy. My gap here is a little uneven compared to over here. This side's actually pretty good. The other side, not so much. Our mounting holes have been drilled. Some of them are a little oval, but they're all oversized on purpose, so I can kind of jimmy it around. I have to cut out this hole still, and then we can see if it actually fits. And if it doesn't, I'm probably gonna cry. Little bit, baby tears. Let's see, it's now about 4:40, so I've been working on this off and on, getting interrupted, wife, dog, wife's friend, whatever, for about 3 hours, so not bad. Let's get it done. Did it. All right. I need to clean up so much stuff, including probably myself. And then I will roll out the Grom and we will test fit and it'll be great. And I believe. I hope. All right, we're on. Man, frame better, Spencer. We are on day 2 of this project. Got back from the hardware store. Got a little bigger spacer for the bottom. Space it off the engine a little bit, and then my plan for right now is to try and just stiffen this up a little bit so that hopefully I don't actually have to run a brace off the front. As it stands, it just wiggles a little bit. So what my plan is, I have a piece of, I don't know, 3/8 inch by an 1/8 inch just bar, and weld that down the middle here and just hope that that gives it enough rigidity that it'll just be good to go. So we're gonna do that and cut it, weld it, clean it all up, and see how it goes. We'll see. I managed to not blow through it all, and it's not pretty. These are ugly ass welds even after they've been ground, but there's some pretty good penetration, so I am happy enough. And it's not like this is not a structural piece, so we're good there. Let's see, I need to knock a few more goobers off of here, and then put away welding stuff, and let's get set up to paint. Did get a little bit of a heat warp in here, which I probably could have guessed would happen with this thin of a sheet metal, and I probably should have taken a little bit more time while welding, but whatever. It'll be on the bottom of the bike and should still fit fine. I try and straighten it a little bit, but we're good. Okay, so after I put everything away and did my final test fit, I put this one last tab on that goes to the crank position. You actually can't see that. Okay. Goes onto this crank position sensor cover. Man, I am losing it today. Cover bolt. So it'll go in between here. And is, I mean, really sturdy. Not worried about that. This side. There we go. Okay. One of the fun things is that you have to put one of these bolts in first because the exhaust is in the way, which just makes me laugh because I did the split plate thing just so I didn't have to take the exhaust off, and now the exhaust is just causing more problems, so you know how it is. Okay, so one bolt-in spacer, slide this rear one on. Yeah, I tried to do it without this bracket up here just to keep it cleaner looking, but it was kind of just vibrating around, and I was like, okay, well, single cylinder engine, as soon as that turns on, it's just going to get even worse, so we're doing it this way. And then get the other side on. I did go with a little bit deeper spacer than I had on here before, which is nice. Gives me a little bit more clearance around both the exhaust pipe and the oil drain area. Helps everything fit just a little bit better. Okay, those are on. Back up to the front. I swapped these front ones out for. Can you focus? Can you focus? Whatever. Swapped them out for hex cap, just to match a lot of the other fasteners on the bike, but also so that it's a button head rather than a squared off head. Keep it a little bit smoother of a profile. So the ones on the front are M6, the ones on the back are M8, and I have no doubt that those are all going to be plenty strong enough. Okay, I don't really need to tighten those, do I? Yeah, I probably should actually. We'll put this back on. The other thing I will say is that dropping this skid pan under that 1/4 of an inch extra or whatever it was, meant that I didn't have to clearance for this cover at all. A little extra bonus there. Okay. Everything nice and good? Everyone happy? Alright. Everything fits. So now, finally, I get to take it apart, clean it, paint it, and then we're getting close to being done. Halfway through day 2, but it's gonna look so good, I believe. Almost there. So, oh hello, hi, I'm here, I promise. Okay, anyway, so I'm going through, cleaning up all the parts for the last time, trying to get all the adhesive off and all the Sharpie off. And I mentioned earlier I used Sharpie because I didn't have any Dicom or layout fluid, and it worked great, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is coming off now, just with some acetone. So that'll give me a nice clean surface for me to apply my paint to. And it's just wiping it all off so easily. So this all should be just about ready to paint. I'm giving it a scuffing as well. Just give it a little bit of roughness for that paint to adhere to. Cool. So, one last wipe down. Try and keep my grubby, oily hands off of it. And this part should be good to paint. I can put 3 or 4 light coats on. Everything is drying now. Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah. Wow, wow. Everything's drying, which means in an hour or so it'll be dry enough that I can put everything back together. And we'll go from there. I am so excited. I know there's going to be comments about why did you go above the exhaust? That defeats the purpose. I don't care. I liked how it looked. And it's not like I'm going to be bouncing off rocks. I think I said that earlier. This is probably the biggest project outside of like engine work where it's step by step. This is the biggest, I guess I'd call it a creative project maybe. Where, you know, you take a flat sheet of metal and turn it into something complicated, useful. I don't know. I'm excited though. It's a huge confidence boost and I am extremely proud of this. So next time you see me, we'll probably be out at the cul-de-sac, or not cul-de-sac, out at the roundabout thing where I go and film all my beauty shots and stuff with the final skid plate on. So let's go to that. Well, that is the end of that little project. Kind of amazing that a piece of cardboard with some measurements turned into 2 fancier pieces of cardboard, which then turned into that. Like I said before, I'm still real proud of this one. I think it turned out phenomenal, and I hope you did too. If you didn't, that's okay. You can keep your comments to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I know exhaust underneath will be a little controversial, but I think the rest of it will be great. So yeah, that is this video. That's all the parts I had on hand. I do have an idea to reuse those white panels I initially took off months ago, and kind of create an alternate livery for the bike. So we'll see if that comes out. I still need to do some videos on the CT90. I have an oil cooler on there that's Amazon special, and it will immediately leaked out of every possible spot that it could leak. I actually just got back a little bit ago from a ride on the 1981 CB750. Still waiting on my friend to pick up the Navi. And then maybe someday I'll do something on the BMW as well. But that's it for today. Hope you all survived 4th of July. I'm gonna go hang out with my wife and enjoy the rest of our 4th of July, even though this is coming out on the, I don't know, probably 5th or 6th, but 6th or 7th. Anyways, coming out later this week. So see y'all on the next one. Bye.